Hello and welcome to Big Deal. Today we are focusing on the biggest corporate power struggle that India has ever seen. The fight between Tata and Cyrus Mistry. From a boardroom battle, the fight now shifts to the extraordinary general meetings of the listed companies, which will decide on the proposal of the removal of Cyrus Mistry from the boards of these operating companies. We have a panel of experts today, well represented by those backing both the sides of the warring camps. My aim is to get the arguments on both the sides and let you, the minority shareholders, decide on your vote. Let's begin by introducing our guests today. Amit Tandon of IIAS, a proxy advisory firm which backs Mistry's removal in the EGMs. Sriram Subramanian of InGovern recommending the voting in favor of Cyrus Mistry. So two contrarian views there. Both have opposite views and they will present their argument for you to decide. We also have Mr. M.R. Venkatesh, the corporate affairs expert, vehement in his views, backing the Tata camp, it seems, and Arun Sangwan, the professor at FIIB, and now well known for some of his scathing comments on M&A strategy of the Tata Group under Ratan Tata's leadership. Now remember, this aspect has been also the point of debate between the two sides of the warring camps. Gentlemen, so good to have you on Big Deal. Let's first begin with the proxy firm InGovern. Mr. Subramanian, your report says that vote against the removal of Cyrus Mistry because, and I quote, what's beneficial for Tata Sons may not necessarily be in the best interest of the public shareholders. Why do you say this? Also, considering that in TCS, Tatas as the promoters have a majority stake, it is a futile exercise to give any recommendation, is my view. Is this recommendation for all the EGMs?
Nisha, it's early to sort of, we are analyzing all the EGMs notices. So we haven't yet come out with a report for each of them. So only for TCS, because TCS is the first on December 13th. So we can say that yes, we are recommending that investors vote against the removal of Mr. Cyrus Mistry, because largely the investors have to take a view independent of the actions of the dominant shareholder. Though already Mr. Cyrus Mistry has been replaced as chairman, okay, and because Tata Sons owns 73% of TCS, it's a fait accompli in that sense. Even his removal as director is already a done thing. Investors need to vote against to express their point of view. At the end of the day, they have to take a view independent of the views of the dominant shareholder. And if the dominant shareholder in this case has not given a reason which is justifiable, which can for the removal of Cyrus Mistry, and that is the reason why institutional investors and retail investors need to vote against.
All right, so that's the view coming in from InGovern. Now let's take it to IIAS. Mr. Tandon, what's IIAS's main reason for recommending a removal of Cyrus Mistry?
Look, our recommendation was based on the position which Cyrus Mistry was appointing. He was there as, he was not there as an independent director, he was there as a non-independent director. He was there representing, in a sense, Tata Sons in the various operating companies. Given the fact that he was removed from the chairmanship of Tata Sons, we felt his continuing on the board of the various operating companies became untenable. The situation which we've seen developed here is that there is hostility between some of the players involved, which we believe can be dysfunctional for the boards and as a consequence dysfunctional for the companies. And that is what is driving our recommendations, not so much as primarily what we believe is in the long term, short term, medium term and possibly the long term interest of the company, ensuring that they're continuing to operate inefficiently rather than getting distracted by boardroom battles, etc., which on a practical basis does impact the operating companies.
the friction can really cause a lot of issues. Now let's look at the mechanics of how the EGM vote will go on. Now, barring TCS, in which Tata Group already has a majority stake, all other listed companies have over 30% stake by promoters Tata Group, and LIC has a substantial stake as the single largest minority shareholder on each one of them. Now, Mr. Venkatesh, would you agree LIC has a very tough job to do?
Now see, if I have to, if it is one job that I wouldn't want at this point in time, it's going to be the chairman of LIC. So it's a very tough decision to him. On one hand, he is wedded to protecting the value of public money, the insurance policy claim holders who are putting large amount of money into the LIC. On the other hand, he has also taken a pragmatic decision. He has to be forward-looking. He has to look at across what brings value to him. Now, obviously, he's faced with a Hobson's choice, and this would be something that he would never have dreamt, that his casting vote would swing the whole game one way or the other. Now, if LIC is going to be with the Tatas, obviously the Tata is going to be home and dry. If they are going to be with Cyrus Mistry will be home and dry, probably in several companies. Now, again, what holds true for the small investors or the minority shareholders would be equally applicable to them, and LIC has to take a call whether they want these enterprises to be Tata Enterprises or Shapoorji Enterprises. Now, this is a huge call. This is not something that you are going to take it in a jiffy. It's going to be questioned whichever way. Again, I'm placing a bet that these people will swing more with the Tatas than with Cyrus Mistry for only one reason: Tatas are sentimental favorites.
All right, you put it on the sentiment. But Mr. Venkatesh, coming back to the question I was asking the proxy advisory firms, and they both have two different views. What is your view? Is by law Cyrus Mistry supposed to resign from each of the operating companies because he's ousted as the chairman of Tata Sons?
See, it is only a moral issue. There are two issues to it. There is a moral issue, there is a legal issue. On the moral issue, I am sure he doesn't have, once the ultimate owner or the beneficial owner of the largest shareholder has expressed no confidence in you, I am sure it is not appropriate to continue as a chairman or director in other group companies. Having said that, every group company is an individual company and entitles you to be elected to the board based on the shareholding and the votes that you get in an AGM or an EGM. So, if it is a moral issue, I may say yes. If it is a legal issue, I will say no. So, it depends on whether I have to wear the moral hat or the legal hat.
Professor Sangwan, you have done some serious study into the strategy of Tata Group. Now, of course, poor performance was one of the big reasons that Tata Group has suggested is the main cause for ousting Cyrus Mistry. Have you done any study or analysis on the performance of Tata Group in the last 4 years?
From 1995 to 2003, Tata Group acquired one company average 1 year. Suddenly in 2004 to 2010, they started acquiring a lot of companies. And it was like 5 years they acquired 51 companies. And then next 2 years, if I add to it, till about 2010, they acquired 10 companies more. You know what has happened? I was just looking at why would this kind of an irrational exuberance happen in a group? What were the strategic planners thinking? Were they equipped to making such large M&As? And mind it, all of these M&As were really large companies, most of them, and global. My concern here is a group which actually did not have much of an experience of M&A, suddenly pushing the pedal onto acquiring so many companies, did it even know where it was pushing itself? That is one. Second, the valuations of all of these M&As, which now start reflecting in terms of bad assets, NPAs, write-offs, that is because they were bought at insanely high valuations. And number 3, the timing was totally wrong.
All right. So there are 3, claims that you've made, or allegations, I would say, Professor Sangwan. But to some of these questions, Tata Group has already issued statements because they were raised. They were in the midst of the heated debate between the two warring camps, especially in the case of Chorus and the valuations, where the erstwhile leadership and management of Tata Steel has also given their side of the view, stating that at that point this was in the best interest of the company, and that their valuations that they quoted in the bid was only slightly higher than the next best bid. All right, so we'll keep those points in mind. We'll slip into a short breather. There are lots more to discuss in this particular debate while you're deciding which side to vote for in the upcoming Tata's EGM's Articles of Association is what we'll discuss next. Stay tuned to Big Deal.